Hi, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the party. This is our vibrant, or visible, visible, victorious. Yes, welcome to the party is dedicated to creating an inclusive and equitable gaming community where folks can come and learn how to stream or play games on stream, and then we give them a place to do it. A shout out to our sponsors, Devin Rue, maker of fine fantasy maps. You can find all of her amazing stuff at rueinc.com. Tabletoploot.com, maker of dice, shirts, mugs, and more. You can find all of their great stuff at tabletoploot.com. And of course, So Nerdware, our official merch sponsor. We use the code WELCOME at checkout if you want to get 10% off of your next purchase at sonerdware.com. So Nerdware, it's what the nerds wear. Let's see. Right, and shout out to our Patreon. The best way to support this channel and ongoing works is through our Patreon. There are interviews with players, some of the mods and DMs. You get behind the scenes looks at our games, from art to notes. You can help us in our goals to be able to underwrite amazing writers, artists, and creators from across the gaming universe as we try to create a showcase of their amazing work here on the channel. Our Patreon is patreon.com/welcome to the party RPG. Let's see, and we're also on Discord. If you want to join us on the Discord, on the link below, that's where a bunch of us gather together. It's a great community for all of us to chat and support each other. Right, so today we are playing Mutants in the Night, a wonderful game written by DC. If you're interested in it, you can find their game on their itch channel. Let's see. So let's start by introducing the players. We'll start to my right. Let's go with Mariam.
Oh, hi, that's me. So I am Mariam, and I will be playing Kyle, the Chopper.
And Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I will be playing Maza, the World Breaker.
And we'll go to Lysander.
Hey, I'm Lysander. Most people have trouble with my name, so you can honestly just call me Xander. And I'll be playing Sylvan.
And Terabang.
Hi, I'm in Terabang. I'm playing Stella, the Silence.
And last but not least, Simon.
Hello, I'm Simon, and I will be playing Drake, the Pyromantic.
Wonderful. Just to give a little intro to Mutants in the Night. So the setting is on February 21st of the year 2034. There was an explosion that went off in the world. It was the human genome. News media says that the world is finally whole again. Streets are safer for children to play, first time since the collapse. 10 years ago, humanity found itself briefly unified in fear. Scientific records claim that around 20% of human being became something else. All in one moment, the world changed. The religious deemed the world unworthy, that demons finally broke out of hell, the end of days. Those old enough to remember it blamed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In reality, no one knows what set it off, but the events that followed, history knows well. The 20% became a target. Currently, it's the year 2044. It's been 3 years since the mutants lost the legal battle that's been waged against them. Mutated individuals no longer qualify as human beings under the law, and as such, they have lost their basic human rights. In their place, the United Nations came together to discern what role mutants have in the world, and the results panned out to very little. Currently, mutants live in what's known as a mutant safe zone. Labor or education passes are allowed for them to go into the human zone to learn, but they're not allowed to marry or claim domestic partnership with other mutant ships, but they can claim domestic partnership with other mutants. But mutants are not allowed to own or rent property outside of the mutant safe zone. So I guess the first thing we'll do as a group is let's define the city. What does your old city look like?
Do we want it to be related to an existing city? I guess is the first thing we need to.
Would
You
it
probably
be
try and blend a few
post-apocalyptic?
things.
It's up to y'all if it could be a current city like based off, or it could be something completely new. But you all just imagine that.
Whoa.
What about like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to also ask. Would it be like post-apocalyptic given the introduction that you gave us?
It can be. I mean, this is a little bit after, so things have probably settled down a bit.
Yeah,
Or a
because
little
we're
bit.
10 years out from the like event.
Right.
So would
Yeah.
it be a new city built on the ruins of another?
Could
I
be.
don't
Could.
really know that like the cities have like crumbled. I imagine like for me, I imagine it would look very similar to just like literally just any city, like tall buildings, lots of glass, lots of lights. But rather than having just like, the way we can move freely throughout cities, there's much more kind of delineation. Not necessarily like actual walls, but like you get to a point and like maybe the mutant safe zone just like is very clearly less maintained. It's just not it's not kept well because obviously mutants are sensitive.
Depressingly
near a coast?
imagining fences.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Somebody said something about a coast.
I had said, would it be near a coast? And I believe Lauren had said fences.
Yeah, I said depressingly, I'm imagining a lot of fences.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm not imagining like actual fences, but like like when there's like a concert or like a parade and they put those like temporary barriers up. Yeah, like the metal ones that like interlock. I'm imagining just like those, but like they're there permanently.
Well, I kind of had a thought, and like I am very new to the game, but from what I can read, like especially if it's kind of a larger city, I'm kind of picturing something like New York, because even in that one city, you can see so many different levels,
Mhm.
and you can definitely see a major difference between the poverty line, or I hesitate to say it, but it is relevant to how some of the mutant safe zones have been described, the ghettos.
so they gave the mutant Staten Island or something like that,
Mhm.
Okay.
like using like a natural barrier.
I like the idea that
We're
it's
all on an
cut off,
island?
like, on an island.
Yeah.
And there's like bridges that go from the main city into that area, but then the barricades that we've been talking about are like the checkpoints at either end of the bridges.
Yeah.
Or
I always-
like the toll bridges could be like a place that would be a way to check the mutants that are out after curfew.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
repurposed toll bridges.
I also
Yeah.
want to play with the element of where also to the elements we're left defending ourselves in a way, because if there's like extreme weather, we're not built to withstand extreme weather. So if there's like storms or hurricanes or anything of that sort,
We're basically blocked.
Mhm.
yeah.
I like that.
So the island is maybe exposed, like that's the tip of the city. It's going into the ocean. So like if
Yeah.
a storm comes in, it's going to get hit first.
Oh yeah.
Cold fronts or
What if-
whatever. hit it.
And we don't
What
have
if-
like proper concrete stuff or things like that, or like shelters. We literally had to make holes in the ground or build our own shelter, which is not as good as, say, if we had the money for it.
Mhm.
What if, I don't know if this works because I'm not an urban planner, but what if there's part of the like a subway system that's there that people ended up building down into because that was the safest place to go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
more
don't
lives.
necessarily want to play the entire thing underground because I feel like that would be exceptionally
Sure.
depressing. And like I want to be able to be like actually like above ground doing shit. But yes, I like the idea of having like below ground hidey holes and like it's not that we're committing to like above or below ground, but like there's movement between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost imagine that for the most part we work up at like outside, like above ground and underground, but it's like during extreme weather season we're exclusively underground because
You never
anything
know when
that's
it's gonna
above.
hit.
Yeah, and anything above ground is very temporary because there's no point in trying to build fortifications because A, we don't have the resources, B, it's just going to get blown away again.
I think yes, but I think maybe it would be good to have maybe like one or two above ground structures. Maybe they were there before it became the mutant zone, and that's where like if like for some reason city officials were coming in, like this is where they go.
Like
they're
this
not-
that was the strongest buildings before.
Yeah.
What if we build off of the idea of using, like, for example, subways as a safe zone for extreme weather, and we use like the someone help me, I'm from Alabama.
Like
Not-
maybe
not Not like terminals, but like that's the closest word my brain can think of.
no, I know what you're saying. Like the stations that are above the
Yeah,
ground.
the stations,
Is
thank
like
you.
Yeah.
like that becomes like a
The platforms.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is looking like a bleak little city. Like
Fucked up. I'm into it.
considering how often the weather tends to change, it's a lot of time underground.
Yeah. Also, flooding would go underground, so there should be very definitely a higher ground.
Yeah.
So, which would
You just
I
got to
guess,
go up and down and up and down.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of. I imagine a lot of movement.
Migration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Temporary.
So,
Just like very temporary kind of transient.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so now how do you all know each other in the group? And what do you all see when you all see each other? Like, how do you all look, as do you have any visible mutations, or do you look perfectly human? Like, so how do you all know each other and how do you all look?
So my character works in one of the makeshift clinics on the island, and she was pre all of this was a medical student, and then everything happened, and in addition to being just weirdly strong, and along with that, she developed a lot of like insect-like chitin. And so she has these green kind of chitinous plates kind of bursting out at random points.
Wait, what is chitin?
It's insect plating,
Okay.
like the insect armor.
Okay. Sorry.
So-
I have a classics background and I was like, Greek clothing? Okay, sorry. Thank you.
So she's short, she's broad, she has this greenish armor sort of at not all over, but in parts, basically over any part where there's one of the big muscle groups. And she spends most of her time on one of the island's makeshift clinics.
Okay.
So Cull basically looks like a trench coat salesman that you meet in some shady alleyway, mostly covered. You don't really see their face most of the time or what they look like, but the one thing you notice is that on their arms, or whenever their trench coat like sleeve lifts on their left and their right arms, you see multitude of watches on them, and they're all set to different times, like usually a several minutes off. None of them are coordinated. And if anybody actually gets a good look at their face, you notice it's really bizarre. It looks like they have gone backwards and forwards in time in terms of age. Like the hair is in various shades of salt and pepper, but then their eyes are like baby blues, and their face certain places it's like smooth like a 10-year-old, certain places wrinkled like a 50-year-old.
Hmm.
And that's what Cull looks.
How about, let's go to Lysander. What is your character?
Mine is Sylvan. Mine, I feel like it's a bit harder to tell that Zero Mutant because it's like right on the line. So it's like, I guess kind of like how I'm white passing. So it's like there are certain features that kind of bring a question to it, like the fact that that their eyes are just like crazy, like entrancing, and like they just draw the eye all the time, or the fact that they have a power that doesn't seem to match like their position or their age. It's kind of like very understated, and it's more of like a I'm sorry, my brain is not wanting to work. I'm sorry. Like they do they're under the prestige side of things, so it's very much with the allure and the charm that you would kind of get from like when you think of a vampire. It's very similar to that. So it's like you can't like visibly tell, but there's just something about the way that that Z carries themselves that makes it kind of a question without necessarily being able to prove that they aren't human.
All right. And Charbang, how does Stella look?
Stella has a fair amount of goat features. So I don't know if everyone watching knows, but goats have rectangular pupils, which are super fucked looking. Just like Google it, they're fucked looking. So Stella has those, which is probably like the fastest way that you look at her and you're like, that's not right. That's not a human. So she's got rectangular pupils, just little horns. I think in my character sheet, I described them as goat horns. They're not very long, just like maybe just an inch or two above her hair. So like if she puts it up, like she can probably hide them, but they're kind of like textured the way goat horns are. Sometimes she'll just sprout feathers. You know how like sometimes like on your arm you'll just get like one like weird long hair and you're like, what is this? Like that, but with feathers. So usually she'll just pull them out once they're far out enough to be pulled, because that's an extra marker of mutancy that like she doesn't need. And like when I was reading through the the file for the game with the words, I remember seeing a faction that was talking about littles and bigs, and I was like, I'm into that. So like very Oliver Twisty kind of, just kind of like running around on the streets vagrancy. But she's on the older end of the vagrant children, so I imagine she's probably 18, 19, like starting to be like, hey, I have to maybe stop pickpocketing and become an adult. Trying to figure out what that is.
All right. And Simon, how does Drake look?
So Drake is a Latinx man. He has about like 5'8". He's kind of athletic looking, and his notable mutated features are that he has scales in patches. They're like black scales that look a little iridescent and have like a bit of a glow underneath them, like a warmth. And they sort of flare up sometimes when he gets a little agitated. He also has eyes that are sort of orangish glowing, and these scales are so kind of distributed across his body that he can kind of get away with hiding them with long pants and a jacket of some kind. But the eyes are a pretty dead giveaway that he's a mutant. So he likes to wear sunglasses if he's going to have to deal with people who maybe not on the up and up with mutants. And he currently works for a nightclub as the bouncer. And so I imagine that there may be some interplay, because I think that with the other characters that it's a place where people can come to feel safe and to get away from some troubles. And so maybe some people like to hang out there. And I also imagine that before the mutations happened, he was a political activist and an organizer, and may have had some connections with the clinic that Maza works over at. If people are getting messed up when they're at protests or anything like that, or helping people that need resources. So that's his deal.
I think that's probably how Stella knows Drake.
Mm-hmm.
If Drake is a bouncer, I think that's a logical connection that I can make there.
Sweet.
And
do we have to know everyone?
At this point, you're all an established group, so you've either just met or you've known each other for a while.
Okay.
I think would Drake be interested in having known Maza before on kind of a shallow level? Maza is also Latinx, so
Sweet.
Maybe they knew each other before all of this went down.
Yeah, they might have ran in similar circles.
Yeah, if he was also a political activist or something, and she
Right.
was in young Latinos group or something in college.
Right. Went to the same abolish ICE protest or what have you.
Yeah.
I feel Cull kind of knows everyone else slightly more than everyone else knows them, because they show up. They're sort of a fixer of sorts. And especially when, say, there's a clash and there's normies that are at the clinic, I show up and maybe reset their clock a little bit.
I feel like that is a kind of semi-violent analogy.
It's not real. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's not physically violent.
I imagine that Drake might have gotten a few tips from Cull about who are the troublemakers that are in the area. Have you ever had to deal with this person before? If you know everyone, then I should know about this person too.
I rewound their clocks a little,
Nice.
Did you just flashy thing me?
What?
Did you just flashy thing me?
No, just wind the clock.
And how do you all know Sylvan?
I kind of feel like with Sylvan being less noticeably a mutant, maybe they helped Stella stay out of trouble a little bit. Kind of saw what was going on and managed to create a distraction so that she didn't get in trouble. And then kind of, especially with Sylvan being on the outskirts, maybe and jump in if you feel like Stella would be against any of this. And I feel like maybe Stella kind of realized there was something that was kind of off about Sylvan, and kind of brought them into the community in a way that kind of makes it a little bit less obvious.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily that Stella and Sylvan would have run in the same circles, but I think we would have maybe been in those same kind of running around doing some wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
And,
and
we know each other in passing. We're acquaintances, and if I was hey, this is something, I think Sylvan would be this is someone says, oh, I need something done. like, and it was something that would be suited to what you can do, I would have passed it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and I feel like Sylvan wouldn't necessarily fall into the littles or bigs category, but with zero mutation, it would definitely be a little bit easier, especially if they saw something going down with a little. They could be
Yeah.
like use their charm or whatnot to kind of draw the attention away from the little so they could get away.
Yeah. And I was thinking maybe Stella also might know Cull if it, like, obviously if you're a fixer, you do a lot of shit, but maybe if you needed some smaller things done, or maybe just something that is a little, like, something that you need to be less conspicuous for, maybe might
Oh
have
yeah.
Stella or like our group or Sylvan's group to get some shit done.
I definitely think my skills sometimes I can certainly make people forget I'm there, so that's how I pass without trace in a lot of places. But sometimes I need something only a silence can do.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I dig it.
It's a great group y'all got going.
Hey. So excited.
All right. So what's going on in this world right now? As you all know, at this point in time, it's roughly about when the weather starts to change. You know, it's like the changing of seasons. You know that this is about the time when everyone starts to head underground. But because of this, everyone tends to be in very close proximity, and so it's really important that people are healthy. You were all summoned over to by Dr. Thompson through Maza. You know him; he's the coordinator of all the clinics in the mutant safe zone, and he has asked your group to come meet with him one night. He's got some issues that he needs some help with.
Okay.
I show up exactly on time.
I've been here for a while. I've been working.
I feel like Sylvan is gonna be running late, always running late. But somehow, if it's like a big deal, like they're barely on time.
They'll be only 5 minutes late as opposed to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel that real hard. I think Stella's been lurking in the area, but doesn't actually show up until maybe after Cull does. Like lurking, like maybe a couple doors down, maybe a block away, keeping an eye on the place, but not going in until we're actually starting to gather.
Yeah, I think Drake is probably the last person out there. It's a long shift to get somebody to cover for him.
All right. So in comes Dr. Thompson. He's like, so this is the whole group, right? All right. So as you all know, with the changing of the seasons and everyone coming downstairs, it's really important that we try and get everyone vaccinated, because with everyone in such close proximity, if something breaks out amongst us, then that could mean everyone gets sick. It's especially important for those who can't receive these vaccines that we need. See, the issue is that the humans, they've been giving us seemingly less and less each year, and I don't know if we'll have enough to pass around. We need enough to get at least enough of us get these vaccinations. Most of us will be safe, and that's all we're trying to do. I mean, all the orders that we send in are right, but every shipment seems to be missing a couple cases, and it seems to be more and more vaccines just every time. I mean, if you guys could really help us out, if you could just procure more vaccines, I mean, they have plenty over on the human side. And honestly, I think we're being sabotaged. I think some of the purists are possibly taking them or destroying the vaccines that were meant for us. I mean, we're the ones where everything tends to break out first. So most of the vaccines that they tend to have and created are because of our research. So isn't it only at least fair that we get to see the results from it?
No, absolutely.
I was gonna say, you think that somebody's skimming off the top, but if you think that the purists are involved, then
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, do you think that law enforcement would step it up or something? But I mean,
No, they don't care about us.
I mean, it's possible that they're even in on it or being paid off. Just turning a
Well,
blind eye.
If that's the case, like I've got a friend who works for the city. We can definitely see if they know anything about it.
yeah, we can definitely ask around.
Yeah, because like he's human, so it's not gonna really raise any eyebrows. But he's been my friend for years. I know we can trust him.
That would be good.
Unfortunately, I can't stay long. There's so many people been coming. We're always swamped. But yeah, if you all could help us with this, I would be so grateful.
Of course.
You see me pull out one of my watches and say, "How much time do we have?"
I mean, the sooner we get the vaccines, it takes time for people to come in, with everyone working, and just the sooner we get them, the better. Just so we have time before anything happens. Because once people start getting sick, and you never know how quickly it can spread.
Yeah.
So 2 days, and you see me sort of fiddle with a dial.
Nice. Yeah, all right. We can plan tonight and leave tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I really need to head out. There's so many people that need help right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get you your medicine, Doc. Don't you worry.
If there's anything I can do to help, please, you can come back to me. I'll see if there's anyone that I might know who can help you all out. But yeah, really, the sooner the better. And at this point, he heads out in a rush, because there's always something going on in the clinic.
The sooner we get this figured out, the better, because I need to get back to work too.
Yeah, you're on the clock twice, huh?
Mm. Okay.
Where do we start?
Well, I turn to the character playing the Prestige. Sorry, I have trouble trying to remember the name. Silva. And I say, well, let's get in touch with your contact.
Yeah. So let me just see what we can do for Benny, because he's kind of got information all over the map. So he helps with, not necessarily helps with the police, but like he's got the information, and like he's got the information from the docs too. He's like right there with the first responders.
Okay. I think we're gonna have to start with some roles. Let's see.
Yeah.
So you're talking to your friend who knows about the city, you say, right?
Yeah, probably working for like the EMS, or not EMS, but like first responders.
So if you could give me a consort role, you can see if he's readily available or if he'll be back in a bit. If you want to add any stress to that to increase the number of die you roll, we're looking for a 4 or better.
Can I assist in any way?
Let's see. How would you be assisting?
Basically, using one of my special abilities. Specifically, I was thinking either Back to the Present or Bullet Dime, depending on the scenario.
Sure. If you mark off, how many flares is that to use?
So Back to the Present uses 1 and Bullet Dime uses 2.
Let's see. It's real quick. Bullet time. Solar. And Back to the Present. You could use Back to the Present depending on the consort roll. How about that?
Okay, sure.
And did you want to use any stress or anything to increase the possibility that he's there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can mark that down. There's 2 stress, so you get +1 die to your roll. If you can just hover over consort and you can click it.
I'm sorry. I'm very new to this, so I'm slightly lost.
On your character sheet.
Character sheet? Okay.
Yes, on the right side, under the skills, under resolve, you should be consort.
Okay.
Okay, so hit consort. You can add 1 die. Add 1 die and go okay.
Okay.
When I say consort, just over the word when it turns red.
Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
Okay.
And would this be risky or would it be controlled?
Let's see. Let's say controlled.
Okay.
Because we're still in the planning phase, so we're not doing anything particularly risky at the moment. We're just trying to gather some information.
Okay. All right, and it's now an input value.
Okay. So, yeah, value is controlled.
Would it be standard effect?
Yes.
Okay. And then no bonus dice?
Because you're using stress, you get 1 bonus die.
Okay.
Ooh. That's not good at all.
Good, off to a rough start.
So I'm guessing you want to use your skill now, Cole?
Yes.
Okay. So what exactly does your skill do again?
So back to the present is after a failed roll, which is 1 to 3. You can use this ability re-roll once as if the first never happened. You cannot accept aid for the new roll.
All right. So you can re-roll that.
Do I do that or
no? Sylvan will re-roll.
Sylvan, okay.
And mark 1 flare off of your flare clock.
Yep, I did.
When it's, I would do 1d6.
Yes, it's the same roll. There you go, 5. Much better.
Much better.
All right, so with this,
basically, as the fail result's about to happen, I take out one of my clocks and I start turning the dial back.
So as time rewinds, all of a sudden you show up and your friend is there. It's like you show up right at the time as he's coming around. So what was your friend's name again?
Benny.
Benny.
If you get what I was doing with that, I mean, he's technically a traitor to the human government.
Well, it's fine. I mean, that happens. So what information are you looking for?
Just like if he's heard anything, like through the grapevine, or seen any like memos that he really shouldn't have. Basically, if he knows what's going on with the lack of vaccinations, or the lack of vaccines, rather.
Right, well, with the 5, I have heard some word of some of the peers who've been, they've had it out for y'all for quite a while. I think that some of them are doing is like right after they load up the vaccines for transport. I think some of them, they probably work for the transport company, or maybe even for the distributors. I think they're either taking them out and distributing them amongst the humans, or whether they're destroying them. I can't really get too close because there always seems to be some law enforcement around. They don't seem to be doing much. I mean, they keep watch around it. You can't really get too close, but they never seem to stop them. So I mean, getting over there and trying to grab anything, even trying to stop them, might be kind of risky. So we have to figure out how to get around them, or maybe if y'all were able to get some proof and send it out, you could make them abandon that way of trying to get these vaccines. But immediately the best way would be possibly trying to either stop them before they destroy it, or just taking over a transport even. Getting over those toll bridges is no easy task either. Right?
Are there guards going with them when they go to distribute it? Or are they there for the loading and unloading?
Yeah, there's standard security. And it's more of a medical thing, so it's not heavily guarded. But for some reason, there always seem to be some of the law enforcement just following them around. I mean, it's not. If anything, it's not official. I mean, that's about all I can give you. But I mean, good luck on your ventures. It's gonna be quite a task.
Thanks, man. You don't know how much help just what you've been able to tell us is.
Yeah, anytime. So, does anyone else have any contacts they might have, or any ways that they might try to, any venues they want to pursue? Because we're still planning things out. So this is your chance to, get everything in order to.
I don't know if it's an hour later kind of situation, but
we can say time is fluid. We can all be doing different things. We can all be exploring our own.
Okay. Having heard that, I want to contact my friend Megan the Blade, who works with the crew who assists when they're unloading things, like whether it's vaccines or food or anything that comes across the bridge. And I want to go find her and ask her about who she's seen bringing the vaccines.
Let's see. So since she works with transport, she's probably on more of a regulated schedule, so she's easier to find.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't have to roll to find her. So let's see. Yeah, so you find her, I guess, would it be after her shift, during her shift? When you most likely talk to her?
It's nighttime, right? So
currently, yes.
I'm guessing it would be after. I'm guessing her shift would be kind of... No, I'm guessing it might be during. It might be during.
Yeah, so you come upon Megan. She's already coming. Her name is Megan?
Megan the Blade.
Megan the Blade. Yeah, so she's already in the mutant zone helping. She's unloading. She's not unloading vaccines. They haven't gotten any of those in. Right now it's supplies and food, to the blankets because of the upcoming weather change, things like that. Warm clothes, things that would help people prepare. So yeah, it's like hey, I'm busy, but I can take a break. What's going on?
This shouldn't take very long. I just wanted to know, the last time they brought in medical supplies, vaccines, medication, anything like that, did you remember anything about the crew who brought them in? Trucks, people, anything like that?
Well, it's the standard trucks usually. I mean, I mean, I don't usually meet up with them until they start to get to the toll part of the human zone. So I was like, we meet up right at the edge. I've noticed there's a bit of a law enforcement, but they don't come across the toll bridge with us. They could kind of just stop right there. I don't know. Some of the workers seem to be a little shifty. I mean, they definitely don't like seeing me helping out, but you know, it's their job. They do it.
Do you remember? Is it a company? Is it just volunteers?
No, it's the same company every time. You know, everything kind of just filters in to the same distribution. So, I guess every now and then there's volunteers, but yeah, usually when the weather changes, you know, people tend to ramp it up a bit. They do have a couple volunteers, but for the most part, it's the same couple people. Something going on?
Might be. Do you know if any of the vaccines came with the volunteers or if they were with the companies? Do you happen to remember?
Usually, when the vaccines come over, usually it's just people riding through the transport. I don't really see anything before that, but I mean, you know, there are a few of the regular employees. They do kind of snicker every time when we're counting up the numbers and things go wrong. We can't always locate the rest of them. They said it might probably just a clerical error or something. There's not always much we can do. We need the supplies. We can't say no and send it back and get it correct.
Yeah. Let me know if you remember anything about any of those employees. Do you remember the company name?
Yeah, it's always through Baxter.
What is it?
Baxter.
Baxter?
Yeah.
Baxter. Okay. Thanks. You've been a great help.
I can ask around, see if anyone remembers a couple of names going on.
I'd appreciate it. I'll let you get back to work.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get those to you tonight.
All right. Thanks.
Do we know how often those drops are made? Is it like once a night, once every few days?
I mean, if we look at it from like a general like inventory standpoint, it would depend on how quickly they go through it. Probably like every couple of days to every week or so.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yes. Going back to talking with Megan, if you asked her about the shipments, you would know that there would be another one coming in roughly 2 days. So,
let's pretend I asked her about that. I'll get back to the rest of you with all the information.
Thank you.
So knowing, because vaccines are, they're temperature sensitive, they're not something that there's one of those things where you immediately pack it up and you ship it the same day. So, in 2 days' time, that night is probably going to be when they also prepare everything for shipment into the Mutants. So, I think you guys, does anyone know how they're going to get across?
I think I might be able to look into that. So one of my two contacts might, or the locations they're in. So my two contacts are Francis, who owns a nightclub, the nightclub that I work at, or Drake works at, and a clothing designer named Elegant. And I imagine that the designer has a lot of connections to humans. I don't remember if it was in a stream that DC was running or that it's in the book, but there's something notes about like humans really like mutant fashion. It's like it's trendy, and we want to feel like we're part of something, even if we don't want to deal with those people. So I think that Elegant probably knows ways of getting things places. So maybe Drake will try and have a sit down or a meeting with them to talk about like getting across the bridge, whether that means forged papers or like sneaking through a boat or something.
What
Figure out
if
what's
Can
going
I
on.
come along with for that?
That'd be cool.
There was
what
an
if
impression that we were allowed to go into the human zone. It's just not necessarily.
curfew? Yeah, and then you also have to worry about the curfew.
Right. So there's a curfew. At 9 o'clock, mutants are no longer allowed in the human zone. Period. But even worse, sometimes just when it gets dark, even before curfew, humans will leave suspiciously just for being around.
Yeah.
I have a question for Drake. Is it possible that maybe one of our contacts might know each other? Like you have Elegant, and I have Addie, who is a makeup designer.
Oh, there's probably some overlap.
And probably has that. So what if Elegant and Addie maybe helped us out and help those of us who are most human passing, and it was a lot easier to kind of get back over there, especially if we have some paperwork or whatever that proves we have business there, so that we could get just over the checkpoint, so that we can maybe figure something out about catching them before they hit our territory, basically.
I like that. I also like the idea of them working together to try and make us disguises or something.
I love the fact that this happened and we had no communication about our contacts.
Yeah, it's just the way it works out. Happy accidents.
I'm just envisioning just like a human disguise montage with some pumpy techno music in the back.
I'm into it.
Okay.
When working on me are confused. Do we make you look younger? Do we make you look older? Which
Okay, so I guess through talking through Elegant and what was your makeup?
Addie.
And Addie. Through talking through Elegant and Addie, Elegant is like I've seen those uniforms. They're basic. I can whip those up in no time. Use some hats, stupid patch, it's whatever. I can get those for you tomorrow even.
And what if I ask Addie about using some liquid latex to help with Drake's scales?
Oh.
Addie would request that maybe the night or the day of that the whole group gets together, because makeup is different for everybody. So she would like to take a look at the whole group, and she's like, I need to be able to get the right tones. I need to be able to match everything correctly. If it doesn't blend right, it could set people's senses off. Just a passing glance might work, but anything more than a hard look, and we don't want that. We want this makeup to be on point. So if I can see everybody and not just hand you a single palette, that would help immensely.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really owe you one now.
For sure.
Right. Does anyone else have any contacts that they want to try and see if we'll help out? Or
could I have a contact on the toll bridge? Perhaps.
So the contacts are your friends or anyone you might know. So
I perhaps have helped, or rather, they owe me a favor that I could cash in.
They owe you a favor. That's a roll.
Sure.
That would be an interesting with what I said about instead of the fake paperwork. That would definitely be interesting. Just kind of look the other way when we go across.
So what role would that be?
See, let's go with you can either sway them or you can consort with them. Or do you have anything of your abilities that would help with it?
Probably. I would probably say back to the present would be the only thing that would help. If things don't go the way I want, I can just rewind.
Okay. So are you gonna try and sway him, or are you gonna try and
I will perhaps
or you could even try to intimidate command, sway your command.
probably sway, because I tend to just show up and sort of almost like the specter of death, but not death, but sort of like if I show up,
Impending time passing.
yeah, if I show up, uh, I'm cashing in, sort of a thing.
Right. Did you want to use any stress for this, or is it going to be a straight?
What does stress do? Sorry.
You add 2 stress, and it'll give you an extra die to roll. But like if when you fill up your stress bar, you get some trauma. So.
Okay. I'll maybe try stress.
Okay.
So I will do sway. What is my position?
This is going to be risky because this is his job. If he gets caught, it's going to be kind of it's his job on the line. He doesn't really want to do it, but he might have to. So it's going to be risky. You can add 1 die though.
So how do I add 1 die? Do I do position and then?
It should prompt you when you click over. If you scroll over the word sway, and it should light up red.
Mm-hmm.
When you click it. Okay, so let's see. So it goes to position is risky. Okay. And what's the next prompt?
Oh, okay, and then effect.
Right. Check this out. Okay. Yeah, so risky, effect is standard, or what are the options?
Standard, limited, great, extreme, 0.
Let's go with standard.
Oh, and then there's bonus die, so then I add.
So you get 1 bonus die.
Okay.
Oof, but you got a 5. Okay, so did you want to use your ability to reroll that, or?
Is it?
A 5 is passing.
Yeah.
It's not a critical, it is passing.
I'm not going to use it.
Okay. So under a 5, he's like, fine, I'll do this for you, but with this we're even. And if you get caught, I don't know you. I don't know the group. All right, it's 1 time, and that's it. You're willing to take that risk because once you pass the toll, I can't do anything about if they ask you for identification or anything like that. If you get stopped, that's out of my hands. That's all on you.
Don't worry about that.
I will get you across that. I will let you go through the toll just fine. That's all I can do for you.
That's all I need. And I do have 1 question to ask before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know the medical supplies truck that comes through?
Yeah, the extra truck. What about it?
Well, have you ever seen it stop prior to here and, some goods get redistributed?
No, it always shows up on time. So I don't. I mean, they're always on schedule. They never come late. It's almost like clockwork. They come when they're supposed to. They leave when they're supposed to.
Thank you very much. And then I just sort of it's like I was never there.
All
right. So what your friend at the toll booth is saying tells us that it's something that's happening at the manufacturing center. Probably. Before it heads out for distribution, which makes what we're doing a bit more dangerous.
I'll say it happens at the distribution center because at that point he just sees the truck.
Right. But generally speaking, unless it's going off at another drop-off point.
Unless it factors in extra dime to be like, well, we're going to make a pit stop, and that's part of the dime. Or they do it right at the distribution center.
Yeah.
Because they can get away with whatever they want.
True.
Guess we won't know until we get to the source of the problem.
World. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think this is a fine plan, or do you guys want to do a little bit more? It's kind of risky right now as it is. We've got uniforms and makeup you can get across the toll. But once you're there, you're on your own.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot about Dexter either.
No.
I might have a contact that just like might be able to run around and get information. Just like street kids on the human side, but I don't necessarily know that would be useful at this point.
Well, that might be something that, like, if there's a way to like communicate with your friend, like maybe they can gather the information as we're getting our makeup done and like getting the costumes ready.
And you also have the communities around the mutant safe zone. Sometimes they might know stuff. You still have the doctor. There's the clinics, the owls, the littles. Those are all resources you could use as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got friends in the human equivalent of littles because I assume like the foster system has kind of disintegrated.
So like if we were to go with a politically correct way of saying, like, basically like the quote unquote street rats in Aladdin.
Did you want to talk to them?
Yeah, sure. I've got one on that end called Laura.
Okay.
I am not sure how much information she would have.
Or she's a little kid?
I imagine she's about my age, somewhere in her late teens.
Okay, late teens. Okay.
Yeah. We might have been friends before mutants became a thing.
Sure. Sure, you can talk to her.
Cool.
How would you contact her?
Is it nighttime right now, or?
Yes, it's still nighttime.
Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily know I have a way to contact her overnight. Or cell phones a thing in this world that we've created?
Yeah, it's the future, so all the current amenities are still a thing.
Sure. I imagine I'll text her or call her.
Okay.
Just be like, hey, do you have some info?
Have
you seen anything?
Let's say she texts you versus a text conversation. When you ask her about Baxter, she'll say, yeah, sometimes she goes out partying over in the industrial district. That's where they have all the best raves and all the best goth parties and stuff. Like sometimes when she's partying, doesn't necessarily see a lot of it, but she does know it's fairly close to where the Baxter distribution center is. For the few things she has seen around there, it's there's a couple cops around that hang out at the distribution center. they seem to be friendly with a couple of the employees that seem to be loading things off the into the trucks. Every now and then, you'll see like one of the employees maybe hand something to the to one of the law enforcement, and they'll laugh a bit. Small things. Just small communication things like that. Like she says that some of the distribution employees seem to be friends with the law enforcement over there. That's what I could pick up from her.
Okay. Can I ask her to spend some time there and keep an eye on things? Let me know if more sketchiness happens.
She says she can try, but if the party starts raging, she's gone.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can count on too much more information from Laura.
Okay.
Is there anything else that anyone wants to talk to, or any of the other communities within the mutant safe zone, or?
It might be useful for like those who are like mostly human passing, even if people know me. Like maybe they've heard something that people didn't realize that they were.
So you're just gonna ask around the community?
Like they kind of heard whispers. Yeah. Like a couple of friends that tend to steer towards like the human allies. Like a specific community of those, because allies kind of tend to group together.
1 second. Right. So you come across one of the people in the mutant safe zone. He's hanging out closer to the to where the we're kind of where the entrance to the mutant safe zone is. He's like, hey, so I heard y'all were looking for information about this Bexer company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a part of the Owls. You know who we are, right? Yeah, we're fighting the establishment. So hitting them Bexer folks is kind of hard. The thing with them is, they got some of the law enforcement on their side, but we had a few inside people. There's a couple of purists within those distribution folks. They definitely messing with our stuff. So if you could find a way to take them out, I'm sure that would definitely help us out. I mean, biggest thing though is trying to get yourself some identification badges or something, because that's the first thing they do. They run a tight ship over there. If y'all can get yourself some identification or something, some sort, then that'd make things a lot easier.
I might be able to help with that one.
All right, but yeah, just be careful, because them cops, they don't trust nobody that they don't recognize, and they definitely don't work for Baxter, that's for sure. So some of those peers are definitely there, making sure they keep an eye out for them.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
And kind of get into the night. So, how are you guys going to get identification?
If somebody can get us some halfway decent, I can double check with my skills and see what I can do to kind of, even if it's not super convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have abilities as the prestige to like change our appearances?
I think I might have the ability, but I don't think I went with that one. I don't know if I don't think I can still do it.
Could my second contact basically be someone who's good at forging?
Yeah, he can be one of your friends. Since you're a fixer, you've helped him fix things,
Yep.
Because forgery ain't exactly a up and up business,
Oh yeah. So, let's call them Nail.
Yeah.
Nice.
And because they can nail it.
Hey.
Hey. And they actually, their legit daytime job is in a nail salon.
Okay.
I love it. I
That's
love it
extra
so
good.
much.
Nice.
Hey, I mean, like nail techs can do like crazy intricate designs. Why not let them be a forger?
Yeah.
Dexterity.
So I go up to Nail and I say, "Hey, so remember your kid? How they had to survive a season, making sure they don't get sick? Well, I need your help so that your kid can be rest easy."
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you've helped me out so many times, so anything for you, honey. Is there what exactly are you trying to do now?
Well, let's just say we found out that the beans over there, they're they're trying the they're trying to skim a little or make sure we don't get enough, and we're figuring out a way to get more of that, but we need some badges for this company. And I mentioned the name of the company that I don't actually know. Me player doesn't know.
Dexter.
Dexter.
Uh, yeah, I think I might be able to. I might have a couple of files I might be able to use for that. Are you saying that I might not be able to get me the medicine I need for my kids this season? I mean,
Well, if everything goes well, there'll be enough for all of us. But we can only do that with your very capable hands.
All right, I'll do. But when do you need them? I mean, it takes me some time to make IDs, but
You have 36 hours.
No pressure.
Keep in mind that you do have someone who can do a modified version, like because I have shifting mask, choose an audience, and the pledge. So I could very easily use like the try to go for choose an audience to kind of distract the rest of the group. I could like use that to distract the guards.
Yep. Well, we don't need absolute perfect. Good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I got in 36 hours, I can definitely whip something up. It'll look like y'all, but if they try to check it, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't. It's not enough time for me to, maybe put something into like a database or something like that. So if they try to cross-reference these IDs, just be careful about that.
Well, whatever help you can give us, I would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have those for you. Okay, gotta protect my family.
Thank you. And might I say, your nails look fabulous.
They always do.
I should get that sometime.
Well, dude, there's always a seat open when you need one. I can make the time.
You know what? Maybe I could do it right now, and then maybe just indulge in my vice a little.
Sure thing, honey, but do you want the nails or do you want the IDs?
Oh, right. What about your and I point to the other sort of like other stylist that's sitting over there.
I mean, sure, if that's what you like.
Maybe I'll come back later. I only like your delicate hands.
Appreciate that. And with that, we're going to take a break.
Woo!
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are playing some
Hi.
Mutants in the Night, and we have just created our plan. So,
We're gonna go heist some vaccines.
just so y'all know, if there isn't anything that you guys planned for that comes up, but you would have liked to have planned for it, just let me know. We can do a flashback scene, but it will cost you some stress. And yeah. So now we go through our engagement roll. Let's see. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Kinda.
We're infiltrating the human world to get vaccines.
Let's see. It is very bold. So yes. So with that, you pick Monday. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take that dice away. Let's see, does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
No.
I would say it kind of exposes a vulnerability.
We're taking back what's ours.
Okay, so it shows that purists are, maybe they've infiltrated, what should be a safe system, right?
Yeah.
And that they're messing with, actual numbers, things that should be recorded exactly. So we can.
Well, not just numbers, but they're actually messing with people's livelihoods. So.
Yeah, but the humans don't care about that, unfortunately.
True, but let's say it as the fact that they are kind of endangering their own health.
Okay.
In a sense.
Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations?
We don't know that they're protected against this kind of thing, but we did take a lot of precautions.
I'm gonna say it's been going on for so long that they're gonna assume that it's gonna go just like it's always gone. So no.
Yeah.
Okay. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? They already have, so it's an extra D. Let's see, are there any other elements that you want to consider?
We're on the right side.
None of this really applies, so I'm not going to do any of that. Okay, so you get 1, 2, 3 dice. Kitty, stop it. $36. Ooh, you get a 4, which means mixed results. You're in a risky position when the action starts. All right. So.
Oh, I just realized my mic was muted. I was going to ask, is there anything my abilities could have done to affect the outcome of it? Or is it basically you're doing that on everyone, what the environment and the NPCs and everybody is doing?
This is more of an environmental thing. So this is what you are coming into. It's not really anything that any of you guys are doing. It's just the situation that you found yourselves in. Not too much you can do about that, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right. So it is now the night of the transport. You go to, Elegant and Ade, and they equip you with the right amount of the uniforms you need. Ade gets all the makeup you want. She matches everyone's skin tone just right. And she possibly, if anyone has, she helps Maza with her hair, cover up the horns a bit.
I have the chitin, and I think it's Stella who has the horn.
Oh, sorry. Stella with the horns. So she helps Stella with the horns. There's only so much makeup that can be done with the chitin, but she does her best.
As much as I hate to kind of use this, what if we use a fat suit? That could kind of provide an area where
I'm already kind of stocky, so
They do not have fat suits, unfortunately.
But like, just kind of make my face look fuller, and
Right.
if I'm already wearing like baggy clothes.
Okay.
I mean, again, there's only so much if that can be done.
Yeah.
So your best bet is to distract people, or not let them get a good glimpse at you, that kind of thing.
Ooh, I have something to help with that called Rewind, where I can erase the memories of everyone in the room about what happened over the last 10 seconds.
That includes you guys as well. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
Great.
That's really a JoJo's thing.
But there is something that I can do that might help with that one. Is I can provide a distraction. With Maza, because I have the choose an audience.
Okay. Let's see. You go to Nail. Nail managed to give you all of you IDs for Baxter. It's actually not Baxter. It's more of the distribution, the mutant distribution side. So people won't look at it as closely, but they'll still be suspicious if you're seeing too new because you haven't been embedded too well. You're unfamiliar faces, so still a bit of precaution, but you have IDs just in case.
What if we take advantage of the fact that I am mostly human passing? Not necessarily taking into account like my special abilities, but the fact that
Right.
I am more human looking.
That can come into effect. Elegant also got you contacts, just in case. Let's see. Was it? Who worked for the transport once again? Was it Megan, right?
Maggie the Blade. Or Megan the Blade.
Yeah, so Megan the Blade, she managed to put you all onto the roster for the transport going down. So it looks like you're official employees, so maybe it won't be questioned too much. And she managed to get you 2 names of some of the shady Sing employees. The names she came up were Chad and Karen. Chad and Karen have had some issues with the mutants, apparently. So, look out for those 2. Let's see. And yeah, so you guys managed to make it into the transport going from the mutant zone into the human zone. You get into cross the toll safe, but once you cross the tolls, you notice that there are some cop cars following, law enforcement is following the truck.
Heads up, I think you're at the bat, Sylvan.
Okay.
Keep in mind, the law enforcement don't seem to be doing anything. They are just trailing you at the moment.
If everybody keeps a cool head, we should be okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll a fortune die. Let's see how this goes. A 1.
I hope it's their fortune, not ours.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no, it's your fortune.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So it's
back to the present. I guess I get the sense that doesn't work, does it?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, I have rupture. Which is briefly, you can replace the hearing of a small group with a sharp ringing. The affected targets experience a moment of vertigo, confusion, and intense pain.
What do you mean I have tinnitus? What?
Worst case scenario, I can target the cops, and while they're experiencing intense pain, we can go.
So there are currently, with a 1, let me think about this. How bad is a 1? There are 3 cop cars. 3 cop cars that are trailing. They're not really doing anything currently, but it seems like for some reason they're seem to be not quite on high alert, but there's a pretty high presence right now. So you guys arrive at the distribution facility, and as you open the doors, you are met with Chad and Karen.
All right, I'm gonna take a look at their IDs. Give them a
So
grin.
Chad's, he's like, "Hey, so I haven't seen y'all before. Are you guys new or something? Because
Yeah.
We just moved here.
usually they inform us when new people come.
Well, with dwindling vaccine supplies, people are getting sick, so we have to cover them.
There's a lot of you too. So you're always taking a jobs. Anyways, so where is this list? I want to make sure you're all on that list.
And I look towards Sylvan at this point.
Okay, let's go with choose an audience.
Okay.
So we
Choose
can
an
distract them and get past it if the scroll's right.
So the Forge, I sort of like with the Forge IDs and hopefully with Sylvan helping with their ability, we can sort of, these are not the droids you're looking for sort of a situation.
So are you going with Sylvan's ability right now, or are you using was one ability helping the other right now?
I'm helping Sylvan.
Okay, so what does your ability do?
Back to the present. Or, back to the present.
Okay, and that is let me check real quick.
That's basically if Sylvan fails, I can allow them to reroll.
Right, okay, so that's a contingency plan.
Yeah.
Right, so
Okay.
choose
So would this be on the finesse level?
Yes, it will. Do you want to use a stress for this? Stress will give you an addition. Okay, so 2 stress for that. All right, so right now, everything is risky right now. So go ahead and do finesse roll.
Okay, and the effect?
Let's see. What's under standard?
Are you asking what's on my standard?
What is? I can't see the list unfortunately right now. For the effect.
My input value, the effect, I have standard, limited, great, extreme, and 0.
Let's just stick with standard for now. Okay, so but it's risky, so standard effect, and add a +1 to your roll.
So 1 bonus die?
Yes, 1 bonus die.
Okay.
Oh, that's a crit.
Ooh, nice.
So how does this ability look? What do you do?
Okay, so this is going to be the distraction. It says you can use your power to distract a small group in an illusion of yourself. You become imperceptible to the targets until they lose sight of the illusion. Okay. Is it possible that the illusion's just kind of like, well, for lack of a better phrase, kind of these are not the droids you were looking for kind of deal, where it kind of like eases their mind? Or would that be the shifting math?
Maybe you could create the illusion of extra names on the approval list.
Well, let's say the illusion has to look like you. So you say
Yeah, the names are on the list and our like photos and everything are there. Like, oh yeah, totally approved.
Okay, let me look over this. I'll group that. Become perceptible to targets until lose sight of the illusion. All right, yeah, you can totally change up the list or make everything look. everything looks extremely legit. The names look like they're signed off perfectly. They can't tell if anything was forged. They even take a close look at your IDs, and for some reason they just can't tell that things are quite off. When they look at you, they look particularly close at Sylvan, and you're passing, so they're like, yeah, okay, you're definitely not taking one of our jobs. We are the jobs. And he's like, all right, we can definitely use more human help around here, that's for sure. So you guys work on that stuff in the corner and just load them into the truck, and me and Karen here will be working on this stuff over here. All right, just make sure all the numbers add up. So Chad, because of this illusion, he walks off. He doesn't expect it as much as you would think he would, and he pretty much lets you do your thing. He still kind of glances over his shoulder. It was still an illusion, so he's kind of like, maybe something felt a little off, but for the most part, he's pretty much just kind of letting it go.
Okay, so with us being inside the center, are we like basically taking advantage of the like transitional little to big skills here and kind of just pocketing them and fudging the numbers?
From what you learned from Megan, it's not that the numbers on the pad are wrong. It's that the number of boxes they get are incorrect, and they know that if they send them back, they won't get them back in time. So they just accept what they have. So, at some point in this room, boxes are being misplaced or taken away. So there's something around here that's something in this distribution center most likely is where it's going down.
And what we need to do is make sure that it's not just this shipment. That's fine. We need to make sure that it's fixed for good.
Right. How are you guys going to do that, by the way?
We find out who's doing this.
And we kill him.
Stop. I would prefer not to kill anybody. That would bring down a lot of heat on a lot
Not to mention, we wouldn't be getting any vaccines at all.
Just keep in mind that one of the things you do know about the purists is that they are considered extremists, even in the human world. The humans don't necessarily pay them too much mind. They're like, yeah, whatever, they don't think like that. Just ignore it, they'll go away. But if things are brought to their attention, that's when things go. Like, if things are really bad and like tensions are high, sometimes they might side with the purists, but for the most part, they see the purists as extremists.
I might have an idea, but I don't want to monopolize.
If we could bring this to light, if we can expose them that it's the purists doing this, and if we make a human issue and not just a mutant issue, I think we have a better chance.
Yeah, if you split us down the middle, we'll be all divided out. If we can make sure that everyone knows that it's a unifying problem, we'll have their attention.
Are we equipped with any like electronics, like tape recorders or anything?
You can be.
Phone.
Yeah. I also have an electronic watch somewhere.
If there's any additional equipment you would have liked to prepare, we can do a flashback.
I mean, if we want to do like a voice recording, it's easy enough to do that on a phone. It's kind of already understood that we have phones.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with me being human passing, if I was to go with what I'm thinking with the shifting mask, it would be really easy for me to just have it in a pocket without a lot of obstruction and kind of have this conversation. So like, even if it wasn't necessarily the head of the purist, but maybe like the supervisor in the plant, that's kind of maybe gotten wind of what's going on, and like he kind of hearing the situation. Please, if someone feels like I'm monopolizing, please step in.
No, that's if we could like stream it or tap it into like I'd imagine we'd all have phones. And yeah, if we could stream this to some sort of whatever future equivalent of Facebook Live is. And maybe not show our faces, but say like this is a vaccine distribution plant and these people are tampering with vaccines that are going out to
The general public.
And not say, hey, that includes mutants.
Right. I just rolled a 1 on your fortune roll.
Oh.
Again?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
As you guys are discussing what's going to happen, or how you're trying to catch them in the act, you notice some of the law enforcement come in and start chatting up Chad and Karen, and they're also starting to survey the room. They do take notice of you all. How do you want to proceed?
I am going to start acting like I'm unloading things off the truck, like I'm taking inventory.
I similarly just lurk around looking like I'm doing stuff, important stuff.
I am going to go out on a limb and do the shifting mask, like kind of walk out of sight and kind of like call out so that I'm already engaging with them, and then activate that ability. Maybe there's like a employee of the month, like like tier thing with the manager's picture, so I know what the manager looks like, or like the supervisor, so I could take that in. So they, like, if I've already engaged with them, it doesn't necessarily mean they've seen me, because loopholes. I can go ahead and come out appearing to be the supervisor and kind of get them to talk about what's going on.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. So there is an image of the picture of the supervisor, and you know it's him because he's also on the floor. I rolled a 1, y'all. But there is a 5, so you can create an illusion of the supervisor if you want. If you could somehow maybe get the supervisor out of there. But he is there, you know what he looks like and what he sounds like. So.
I'm going to glancing over. I'm going to see the 2 supervisors and are going to have seen them changing it to the supervisor and be like, "Oh no!" Glance over at the other supervisor that I had seen a second ago.
Did you still want to do the illusion?
Oh, did you? Because I have an idea. Might not be a good one.
No. Let's hear out the idea from Mala.
Okay. I'm going to walk over to the supervisor. Eyes lowered, head lowered. Greet the supervisor and say, "Hi, I'm Isela. I'm new here. I just wanted to ask if you could show me where the break room is. There's a map, but it's not very clear. Could you help me out with that?"
Great. Can you give me a consort roll?
Okay. Just one die, right?
Did you want to use any stress for that?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So again, this is risky. We're just sticking with standard for now.
Huh? So it's risky and standard?
Yes.
1.
And so you add 1 for the stress.
I would like to back to the present that, please.
Okay, you can re-roll that. Can you mark your
I just marked it.
player?
Okay, so I do that again?
Yes.
Okay, do I have to redo the stress?
No, it's just a re-roll of what you currently have. So you still get the same stress. You don't have to add any more. But risky, standard, +1 die.
Okay.
On a 4. All right. He's like, I wasn't expecting anyone new, but it's shipment day. Fine. Yeah, I can show you around. But what exactly were you looking for again?
The bathroom.
Yeah. It's just around the corner.
Yeah. Okay. Could you? I'm really sorry, but could you?
Fine.
Thank you so much. I'm not actually from here. I'm not.
Yeah. We don't get a lot of mutants around here. And he shows you off to the restroom. So there is now no supervisor on the floor.
Okay.
That means that this is even more risky because now the supervisor knows that Maza's a mutant, even if he doesn't know it's Maza.
Because pretty much, yeah.
Shit. Okay.
I mean, they do have mutants that work there. I mean, mutants are still allowed to work in the human zone, so it's not something that's unheard of.
Okay, so it's not as bad, but especially with her being a quote-unquote transfer, it might raise a couple flags.
Right, you're definitely now on his radar.
Need to lock him in the bathroom.
So while he's off the floor, what are the rest of you doing?
That allows the opportunity for shifting mask, but I'm in a totally different area at this point.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing anything, Stella?
I think Stella's just kind of wandering around, touching all of the boxes, trying to look busy.
Okay. How about you, Drake? What are you up to?
I think I'm checking around for signs of whether or not the things are being taken out here or even before they get into the boxes, like on an assembly line or something.
Okay.
Maybe could I? Is that? I'll like try and survey the situation.
Do you want to add any stress to that?
Yes, I will be stressing.
Still risky and standard.
Cool. Risky. Standard. 1 bonus die.
On a
I'll
6.
take it.
On a 6, you notice Chad and Karen talking to the law enforcement. You notice that there's not just one has stepped in, but now 3 of them have stepped in. Law enforcement have kind of stepped further into the warehouse, kind of blocking off Karen and Chad. But if you look closely, you will notice that Chad and Karen are handing off some boxes to the other 3 law enforcement folks who are just outside of the warehouse, the distribution center.
I'm going to try and take some very covert cell phone pictures of that.
Please do.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you get 11 from 1d6?
I do not know.
Sorcery. Do you want to make it a fortune roll, or shall I roll prowl?
What happened here? What happened? On a 3.
Okay.
As you are taking, well, yeah, roll a prowl, actually.
Sure. And I will be stressing for that one as well.
Well, actually, on a 3, you notice that one of the cops is surveying the room while you're trying to take pictures.
Okay. So I would need to try and keep him from noticing what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, what if I step in and I am talking to him while Drake is trying to take the pictures?
Ooh, as the manager? With your mask ability? Or are you just doing that as
Distraction.
Sylvan? Yeah, okay.
Doing that as Sylvan for distraction.
Sure.
Okay, so not using any of your abilities?
No, just like, hey, what's going on? Because at this point, I don't think that they would have necessarily been close enough to see our faces, or our disguises, rather.
Wait, so
Or
you're
would
not
they?
the manager?
I think we decided against that, at least for right now.
Okay. And you are, let's see. And you're talking to you're going to talk to one of the cops?
The cop that's looking around while Drake's trying to take the pictures.
Right. Hmm. Let me think.
It's gonna look like
what do you
are in on it though.
Roll
Fair
a
point.
roll a prowl for me as well.
Okay, so roll a prowl.
Mhm.
Okay. It's risky, standard.
Risky. Standard. You're going to add any stress to this?
At this point, I kind of gotta, because I'm the distraction.
Okay. So add your stress and add an extra die.
I did not roll yet.
Back to the present. I'm just gonna keep that's all I'm using my flair for.
How much flair do you have left?
4.
You have 4 left?
Yeah, I have 6 in total.
Okay. Yeah, you can reroll that.
Still with the extra die or no?
Yes.
That's why I'm the fixer.
On a 3. Cop comes up to you and looks at you. He's like, "You ain't no human. You a mutie. Why ain't you back there working? Need me making an example of you? Come on. Come on. Get. Go do some work. That's what y'all good for."
At that point, I have no choice but to walk away. I either walk away or create a scene. So.
Did you roll your prowl, Simon?
I'm about to. So I was going to see if anything nasty happened out of that. I'm taking stress on that. I assume it's still risky and standard.
Yes.
Shabam.
On a 5. Okay. This a distraction was made, but they do know that Sylvan is a mutant now. Chad is definitely more suspicious because he thought you were human. He didn't correct him on that, but he didn't say you weren't a mutant either, right?
Right.
Yeah, you can start taking some pictures, but all you get right now are pictures of some boxes being. You can't quite get pictures of them handing them off, but you can definitely see pictures of them not going directly into the truck.
Yeah, they're like not where they're supposed to be.
Right. Okay. Right. Cole, what are you doing right now?
Oh, I am trying to see if since clearly we won't be getting those boxes, if I can make sure that what our manifest says, like if it's like 10 cases, then at least we're getting 10 cases, even if it means taking more from this place.
Can you roll a survey for me?
I sure can. So risky and standard.
Yes. Are you gonna use any stress, or are you gonna do this?
Yeah, I will. I will use stress.
Okay, that's an extra dice. On a 6, you notice that as it is right now, you are 1 box short of the manifest.
I take 2 or 3 if I could.
Meaning what's in the warehouse will still leave you a bit short. You will have to take back at least one of those boxes that Chad and Karen are currently holding or passing off.
Can I go up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Apparently the box you were supposed to pick up is in the break room. This one's," and I sort of wink, like sort of like these are like the empty boxes or whatever, like sort of try to do this knowing wink of you're about to give bad stuff to the cops.
Let's see.
I mean, it's not the best idea, but I'm just at this point going for it.
Roll a consort for me. See if you can get past the cops.
Okay. And I will take stress.
Okay.
So risky standard again?
What's above risky?
Okay, let me cancel this because I already clicked through.
Yeah.
Control, desperate, and fortunate.
This is desperate because right now Chad and Karen don't trust you as it is. They know that y'all are mutants. And the cops are a bit wary, especially since Sylvan just communicated and was forced off by one of them. So this is extreme. Or a desperate move. So if this goes wrong, it can go very wrong.
And the effect is standard, or
yeah, I'm just sticking with standard for now.
Okay. And I will use stress.
On a 6, okay, you can on a 6 you can convince you can get past the cop by convincing them that you need to pick up one of the boxes there. So what do you say to Chad and Karen?
Say, apparently I was told that I don't know. I mean, as I said, I'm new here. That apparently this is supposed to go in the truck, and then the special delivery is actually over there in the break room or something. And to make sure that the break room stuff is especially given to y'all. And I mean, I'm new here. What am I supposed to know? I'm just following instructions. And I sort of, as I'm talking, I'm taking the boxes.
And Karen's like, really? Who told you that? I mean...
The manager.
Yes.
Okay. Is the manager back in the room at this point?
How long do you spend in the restroom? Well, actually, yeah, because you went to the restroom and he would have immediately come back. So, yeah.
Okay.
You can try and point him out, or you can...
Yeah, I would have followed back in not too long after. So
he's like, really? Larry told you that?
Yeah, you better take it up with them. I mean, we gotta get going. I don't wanna mess this up, I mean, we're just dumb muties and everything. So I just want to make sure I don't get fired. This is really hard. And I'm just like, I'm walking and talking and just taking the box away.
And Karen's like, you know what? No. I'm going to leave the box here. I'm going to talk to Larry right now. Don't touch that box. So Karen...
Okay, is it possible for me to have slipped off to the bathroom at this point?
Sure.
Kind of out of sight.
Right now, Karen and Chad are walking over to talk to Larry, the supervisor. The box is just on the ground, but there are 3 cops around. So...
And I'm just holding it in my hands, waiting patiently.
Mm-hmm. So what the rest of y'all want to do while this is going on? Because...
Okay, so at this point we have Chad and Karen who are going to talk to Larry in the same room with us, but the cops are still present.
Yeah, the cops are still there.
We need some kind of big distraction.
I mean, I can make a distraction. It's gonna be really, really big, though.
Yeah, same.
But
The two of us are not subtle.
But if we do a big distraction, then that kind of, maybe it's a short term, but they're on to us to fix the long term.
All right. Well, here's a question. Is smoking allowed in this facility?
Not inside the facility now.
Yeah.
There would be a designated smoking area, but it's a good at least 40 feet away from the main entrance.
If it's anything like the medical facilities I used to work at, it would be, I think, 100 feet away from the building.
Okay.
Yeah, like outside,
So
away.
it'd be hard for me to get over there and spread that somewhere in here. I can use my ability Meltdown to apply heat to inanimate objects enough to melt metal with the help of flame. But I don't need flame to do it. I can just put heat on something.
Mhm.
So maybe there's like a water tank or something that I could like brush up against and
this
use
is
to,
a
like, let off
warehouse.
steel.
Warehouses usually don't have water within the building.
Except near the bathroom.
Right.
So I have an ability that will let me see. It's bringing down the house. You can unleash your terrifying strength against the environment around you. Steel, brick, concrete, and stone all bend to your might.
Lovely.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Just make sure we can get out of the warehouse.
yeah, I was hoping to save all of my stuff as a last resort type of thing. But if we need a distraction, you can't get much more visible than that except for an actual fire.
Okay.
So
what is Stella doing right now? Or Stella around right now?
Stella!
Okay, so you're trying to create. Are you going to create this distraction, or are you going to wait until last minute?
I'm going to wait until last minute. Like I said, it's certainly going to get me arrested. It could put everyone else in danger.
Well, you don't have to use it.
A lot of damage. Well, it will cause a lot of damage, but it could potentially destroy a lot of medical equipment. So,
okay, what if I go for a prowess roll and do wreck, so I could use carefully applied sabotage?
I actually have one idea I want to sort of get in. I think in the 10 seconds, I would actually like to load the box in the thing and erase the memory of that happening with rewind.
But that would erase
Ooh.
your memory too.
I
Would
think it
it?
only affects the people that are around you and not you.
So everyone but Cole would know,
Yeah.
or wouldn't remember. Okay, so that's two abilities you're using at once.
No, just one. Rewind. That's what it's called.
Okay, and it happened over the last 10 seconds. Okay. All right. So how are you going to grab this box without the cop stopping you?
The box is already in my hands because I was waiting there with the box in my hand, and I was like, okay.
Karen put the box down on the ground.
Okay.
So the cops know that it's on the ground. They will see you picking it up.
I, at this point, am sort of like, okay, things are gonna happen. I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna rewind, and I don't know if I can do two things at the same time, but if I could, I would also use bullet time, but I think it's something to do with resistance, not actually.
Bullet.
Okay, do they know that we're like together in any sense than the group of transfers.
If you give me a focus, is it a tune?
Yeah, it's a tune in this.
Yes. If you give me a tune roll, and you succeed, I will let you use bullet time and rewind immediately.
Okay.
Right immediately after the other.
Okay. So is it risky or is it desperate or controlled?
Sounds pretty desperate
This
to me,
is
honestly.
desperate. This is
Okay.
very desperate.
And standard?
Yes, I'm sticking with standard.
Okay. And I'm gonna use stress for this. And get one more. Oh no.
Oof. Do you have? You can do
back to the present? Yeah, I can.
But then you have to.
Oh no, I can't because I need
You can use whatchamacallit. You can start using. You can continue to use your abilities after you've used up the flare. It just costs you. So you will start getting some trauma to use your abilities after you fill up the clock.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
What if instead I do a sway and we do a fake skirmish as a deception so that the cop has no choice but to step in?
You're going to create a fight?
A fake fight with someone in our group as a distraction. So that would count as deception, no? Or would that be...
I will reduce the risk of Cole's roll if you succeed on this. But this is also a desperate move.
Okay. That would be sway, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And who are you starting a fight with?
Who's going to be the most physically similar?
Not me.
So that it's not a big deal for me to be in the skirmish. Obviously, Drake is a bouncer, so Drake has to be at least a little bit buff.
He's athletic, but he's not a good fighter.
Okay. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's do it with Drake.
All right, so roll me that sway.
I'm going to take stress because this is desperate. Sorry. Taking a second.
On a 6 and a 2. Let's do this once more. 3. Okay. So on a 6, you managed to get the 3 of the cops to surround y'all while you and Drake are fighting. Fake fighting. They pull you off and they start to handcuff the both of you.
For what? What'd I do? I ain't do nothing. You saw it. They killed me first.
Cole, you have your chance to use your abilities right now.
Okay, I will use bullet time to allow me to react faster and then rewind, which is one beyond my flare.
Did you roll your rewind to redo your attune?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So let's redo that attune.
Okay. So,
and that will be risky.
Risky. 100. And do I have to use my stress again, or it's because it's back to the present, I just do it?
Just to re-roll exactly what you did last time. You don't have to add anything additional.
Oh.
On a 6. All right. You make it into the truck with this. Then you do the 10-second rewind, right?
Yeah.
So on the rewind, all of a sudden the cops are like, the hell are you all handcuffed for? What the hell going on here?
It's just more police brutality, I tell you.
I'm just minding my own business. If someone come up here and not trying to mess up my scene, I'm just trying to get a job done, man. You know how it is. People just dropping off all over the place. They don't know what's going on. I want my rights. I want a lawyer.
Drake, do you really want to say that to a cop?
What's he gonna do?
Especially when they already don't trust mutants.
I got rights like everybody else.
Not in this world.
I'm gonna come.
You got witnesses here.
What is going on?
What is going on with D6?
You know what? I'm going to take it.
It is a D6.
On an 8, the cops are like, you know what? Y'all ain't worth the hassle. I'm going to give y'all a warning. This will be our last warning. I ain't never want to see y'all around here again.
We don't want to work for a place like this.
I'll make sure that this is your last delivery, that's for sure.
I'm going to come up to them, and I'm going to pull them aside. I'll be like, I'll calm them down, officer. I'm sorry. And I'm going to pull them aside. I'm going to be like, okay, we have the delivery. Do we want to call it a loss? This isn't going the way we planned. Do we want to just go and try this again?
It's okay. Let's just get out of here.
We're going to try and take the truck.
Blink.
You don't have to take the truck because the truck is automatically going to the mute safe zone.
That's true.
I can get us out of here early if y'all want to come to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to try and leave early?
Are we still cuffed?
No, they took the cuffs off. They gave the warning and told you that they'd never want to see you here again.
Okay, cool.
Okay, before we leave, can I try to apply sabotage?
Sure, what are you trying to sabotage?
We can take the fact that we already have Drake's pictures and go ahead and send them to somebody to be safe. So that's already a sabotage to their secrecy to it.
I'm going to roll a fortune for me. Let's say that. It should be one on your sheet, I believe.
I am clicking the button and nothing is happening.
I'll roll it then.
There we go.
Again, I don't know what's going on.
It's like rolling a D20 instead of a D6 or something.
What are you doing? Wait, is this why? Is this... Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's what happened. Either I'm going to take that 7. No, I'll take the 4. It's a success, but you... Okay, so we're gonna do the end scene right now. But the pictures that Drake managed to take, it's not enough to convince anyone. You post it to Twitter. You see if there's anyone with a newspaper they want. They're like, there's nothing we can do with this. But there was one person you give it to in the Owls. They managed to send the pictures to the supervisor, who puts Karen and Chad on notice. He doesn't know why they were back there handing those off, but he knows they shouldn't have been. So there's no guarantee that will stop it from happening again, but it's possible. You won't know till next year.
So speaking of them, I think I can get us out early.
Yes.
But I want us to go to the break room, not the bathroom.
Okay.
Are there lockers?
Yes, there are lockers.
Okay. I want to use do they have names on them or anything?
It's probably a multi-shift facility, so it would just be day use or use for that
Yeah.
shift.
There's no. It's more of a like, if it's free, you use it. One of those. So if you manage to find a way to identify whose it is, otherwise it could be anyone who works there.
Okay, can I use my
You can do a survey to see if you can figure out whose locker is whose.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do a survey to try and find Chad and Karen's locker.
This will be risky.
If not, I have a secondary plan. I guess I'll use a stress standard.
Yes.
I'll use the stress.
On a 5, yeah, you managed to identify their lockers. There doesn't seem to be very much in there. It's just basic stuff. It's just the shirt that came in on. Maybe their wallets and their keys. That's about it.
Okay, I'm taking them.
All right.
Right on.
All right, and
I very quietly say as we're going, making sure no one's around, it's okay, we got the supplies we need. Trust me on this.
okay. Are you guys doing anything to try and leave early at this point, or?
Yeah, trying to leave early.
I mean, okay, is the break room near like an external wall?
It's not too far from the warehouse. Anything happens in the break room, like if something big happened, they'd hear it.
Can always set off the fire alarms.
Yeah.
Or we could just leave through the bathroom window.
A little more
Warehouses
something.
I mean,
don't typically have windows like that.
Keep in mind that the truck is in the docking bay, so
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're why don't we go ahead and do the fire alarm? Somebody can try for a wreck, because that will create a distraction and chaos.
all right. Fire alarms are standard, so I will say you don't have to roll for that. You pull the fire alarm. People start to clear the building, doing the drills like they've been taught, have they been forced to learn. And you can use this moment to leave early.
Okay. I was going to use bringing down the house to just
To bring more attention to us?
knock us a wall so we could just leave.
I'm gonna give us a little cover on the way out. I think Drake carries a lighter and cigarettes for fire powers, since he can't make fire, but he can manipulate it. So he's going to light a cigarette and throw it in like one of the trash cans, and use fanning the flames to create thick smoke to obscure the vision into the break room, so that we can kind of get away undercover.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. So because of the fire alarm and the distraction, no one seems to, they don't find it suspicious that you're leaving early. They're like, you know what, it's going to be fire weather, I may as well leave now anyways. So you manage to return to the mutant safe zone with the supplies you need for this year. Unfortunately, next year, you won't know until it happens.
No, but we got their shit.
Yes, you have Chad and Karen's shit. They will be pissed. So I guess here is where we will wrap it up. I guess we can do some outros. If you can let us know what was your favorite part of what you liked about the game, where we can find you online. Let's go the opposite direction, starting with Drake.
Hey, my name is Simon, and I played Drake tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. And I also run a Decopunk boffer game up in Massachusetts. If you want to check that out, that's at attawaylarp.com. I love Mutants of the Night. I think it's a super cool game, and I'm super glad that DC wrote it for us, and I'm super glad that you ran it for us. I enjoyed getting to meet everyone's characters and see this community that we got to build and play around in. And I want to go back and see what happens next year when we have to deal with this medical crisis.
Great. And I believe Interrobang stepped out, so let's go to Sylvan.
You're muted.
Thank you. I'm Lysander. I played Sylvan tonight. This was my first experience with a tabletop RPG. So I really enjoyed it, and I liked seeing how everybody kind of played off of each other.
Oh, that's great. It was really fun having you as well. And Maza.
Hi, I am Lauren. I played Maza tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Sithwitch. You can find all my professional stuff on my website, lwsalinas.com. And I really loved this. I played Blades in the Dark at a con earlier this year. And so Mutants in the Night was a lot of fun. I love X-Men. I love mutants. I love the fact that this actually, well, okay, first of all, I love everybody's characters. I love hearing everybody's descriptions. And I love the fact that this was based off a medical crisis because as a former biologist, I am a medical nerd. This comes off of me listening on this whole thing on a podcast about adenovirus and how that just swept through, places because of overcrowding and lack of vaccines. So yeah, I'm just super into this. So thank you so much for making this like 5 different things I love.
Wonderful. And Cole.
Hey, so I'm Mariam, and you can find me on Twitter at media_junkie, and I practically live here in the weekend for Welcome to the Party. You can find me on Saturday nights, Adventures in Agni, then usually here, 3V, and then right after, in about half an hour, Emissaries of Avitna. I'm also the GM for the Musafirs, and you can find all this information online, and I think the best part, I mean, all of it was pretty good. I think the best part was that spite, I'm gonna take your shit, Karen and Chad.
That was wonderful. I am Wild Engineer. I was the GM for tonight. I really enjoyed how much all of y'all played off of each other. It went so well. And all the characters that you made, they were wonderful. And the city, it sounds, it's one of those places where you could definitely feel like there's a lot of hope in there, but they're really dealing with what they have to. You guys just built a great little world within this. Thank you for this is my first time running Mutants in the Night or anything Blades in the Dark, so
Hey,
that was great. You can find me on Mondays. I stream Call of Cthulhu on Scratch's channel. I'll also do some Masks: A New Generation on Welcome to the Party. On Tuesdays on Encounter Roleplay, I play some D&D. Saturdays, I do D&D BX on Greyhawk channel, and I'm also doing Invisible Sun on Otherdoc. So yeah, that's where you can find me. So yes, thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked Mutants in the Night, it was written by DC. You can pick it up on his itch page. So good night, everybody.